Just how are we understanding the complex state of AI in cybersecurity? I'm Mike Loader. This is Ending Cyber Risk. Hello and welcome to Ending Cyber Risk, presented by the team at Arctic Wolf, where each episode we unpack the ways we can help put an end to risky cyber behaviour. In the dynamic landscape of cybersecurity, the integration of artificial intelligence demands a collaborative synergy with human expertise. Joining me now to discuss this is Nick Schneider, the President and CEO of Arctic Wolf. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio. First up, why does it need this collaborative approach with humans? Can't the robots put it together themselves?
Yeah, we're still in the early innings here of AI overall. So there's a lot of work being done as to how AI can be leveraged in a cybersecurity operation. But there's also a lot of bad actors that are leveraging that AI technology to attack. And I think through kind of the permutations of these early innings, human intelligence and having a human involved in the interaction with the end customer, the detections is really important to make sure that the efficacy of the solution or the outcomes is where you want it to be.
Okay, so what trends characterize AI cyber threats and I guess disrupt the traditional cybersecurity measures we're seeing already in place? What's AI doing in the sector?
Yeah, so we're starting to see AI being leveraged for specific attacks in ways that we haven't seen before. I think specifically you're seeing that AI is being leveraged in phishing campaigns.
Yeah.
You're now getting emails that look and feel very much like an email that you'd expect to get.
I got a text message from the post office this morning.
There you go. And it's starting to sound and feel a lot more like what you'd expect it to be versus, even 6, 12 months ago, you were still getting the messages that were clearly not sent from someone you expected. So that's one example of how AI is being used, and it's making it harder to detect those types of threats. And therefore, you need to be able to have a security operation that can detect those threats, both through technology, but also leveraging kind of the human and the training of the employees to ensure that they understand there are some new techniques in the market.
Of course. Well, let's talk governments for the moment. And how can governments and businesses, I guess, in the region balance both fostering AI technology with regulatory challenges that of course come up when you introduce new things like this, and it's rapidly expanding, Nick?
Yeah, so I think what we have to understand is it's moving quickly, and the bad actors won't wait for the way in which the governments will react or even the way in which the businesses will react. If anything, they'll take advantage of the fact that vendors or government are going to be cautious about what they do. So I think we need to be careful about not hamstringing the organizations that are trying to fight the bad actors in this sense. So I think while regulation is important, we want to make sure that we're leveraging AI for the right reasons and in the right way. We can't, put organizations at a disadvantage against, those that they're fighting against.
Absolutely. Is speed the biggest challenge so far, do you think, based on what we're seeing with artificial intelligence?
Well, I think it's two things. I think it's speed and the way in which the bad actors are leveraging the technology against the manner in which, vendors or customers are using it. You have to remember they have no concern for efficacy. So if it works, great. If it doesn't work, move on to the next technique. For a vendor or for a customer, if you leverage it and you get a false positive, if you leverage it and you get a really confident, this is not a threat and it is, then you have a big problem. So I think we just have to make sure that we're developing things at a cadence that delivers high efficacy and understand that in the end of the day, whether you are solving the challenge through AI or if you're solving the challenge through a broader security operations program, that you can stop the threat regardless of the manner in which it's coming at you.
Well, let's just talk about that for a minute and proactive measures. What can people be doing to, defend themselves or identify artificial intelligence threats, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a new vector of threat, right? So we've had threats coming from all different vectors and on all different attack surfaces here over time. And I think building out a really strong security operation, training your employees as to what they should expect to see, making sure that you've built, detections and capabilities into your overall operation that can stop any type of threat, inclusive of AI, is critical. And I think given the speed and the velocity with which these bad actors can use AI, I think it's really important that that security operation is built in a way that is less complex and involves some critical thinking as to how it's set up.
Yeah, so we're talking businesses, the small to medium enterprises. How do they engage with all of this? I think for a lot of people it would seem really daunting, or perhaps they don't have the money.
Yeah.
What solutions exist?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's again, it's a new threat vector, a new mechanism that can be leveraged by the bad actors. I don't think that changes what we would recommend for a small to medium-sized business. They need to build out a security operation. They need to understand how to detect and respond to threats. They need to understand, what their vulnerabilities are and how they're going to shore up those vulnerabilities. Train their employee base to make sure that they understand the threats that are present and the way in which they might be changing, and then have an incident response plan and response capabilities. And I think if folks can focus on kind of the fundamentals of their cybersecurity posture, whether the threat is coming through AI or it's coming through more traditional means, they'll be in a much better spot than those that don't.
Very well said by you. Nick, thanks for joining us on the program, and of course, we'll see you again very soon.
Great, thank you.
All right, that's the program for the moment. We'll see you next time as we unpack this ever-expanding space here on Ending Cyber Risk. Be well.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.